So next part of planning is the stages of planning, or if you are asked to go through a planning process, these are the steps or stages that you would go through in a planning process. We use a 5-step process or 5 stages, and we use the acronym SATIM or SATIM. And we're just going to go through that right now. The first step is to set the objectives. So you need to look at where the organisation is going or look at what you're actually trying to achieve. So set out an objective that you actually want to achieve. Next, you need to look at your organisation. So if you're the manager, you need to look at the organisation. You need to analyse the present situation that it's in, and you need to look for any future opportunities or future threats that may occur. So the best way to do that is to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you look at the strengths of the organisation. What do they do well? Is it that they have good employees, they've got good brand, good processes, whatever it is. And then you look at any weaknesses of the organisation. So those strengths and weaknesses are pretty much things that are in the internal environment. And then you start looking externally, look at the external environment and what opportunities are available to the organisation, what threats are there to the organisation in the future. So once you've done that, you've got a really good analysis, I suppose, of where the organisation sits in terms of what it does really well, what it needs to improve on, what are the opportunities in the external environment that they can take advantage of, and what threats could they possibly look at avoiding. Next step is to then develop some alternatives. So once you develop some alternatives that are going to help you achieve your objective, you might develop a few and then you evaluate those alternatives. What are the different ways of enabling us to get to our alternative, to achieve our alternative? So once you've evaluated, you select one and you implement that plan. Whichever the best alternative is after you've evaluated it, you choose the best one and then you find the best way to implement it and you actually start implementing it. The last step in the planning process or at the stages of planning is to then monitor your results. You're looking at what your objective is. You then look at what the actual results are of implementing your plan or choosing your alternative, and is it achieving the results that you desire? If it is, then great. You continue to monitor. If it isn't, you make any adjustments that might be necessary. It might be that you change that alternative slightly, or it might be that you go back to one of the other alternatives and you choose that one and implement it. So it's important to monitor against what you're expecting with your objective. So that is a planning process, or you might see it as the stages of planning.